Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I am Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis. And we have a wonderful team that God has provided me. And so I like to always start out with Faith, my little Faith. You're not my little Faith anymore. You're my big Faith, but whatever. Faith has been with me since the day she was born. She's been doing announcements with me since the day she was born. And now she's my official assistant and almost 18. We got like almost a month left. We got 3 weeks left at this point. And so I'm pretty excited. I am pre-recording this for all of you to know. I need a day off just like everybody else does. Envisioning was a perfect time for us to pre-record this service. So it is being pre-recorded, just to let you know. Faith is on in the background answering all the comments. So if you say hi, hello, good morning, however you like to greet us, Faith will be the one answering those. And so just know that she does know me better than I know myself. And so they're usually right on. She's also going to be our soloist today. So thank you, Faith, for being here. I appreciate you. And then there's my partner in crime, the wise and powerful Oz, who has been my sole support for many, many years as my first practitioner and as my board president, and then moved off to Florida and deserted me. Oh, he went on to do something that he needed to do for him. And, you know, we've been apart for a few years, but the last year and a half we've been back together because we have this new technology now. And so he is available for what we call our 1-minute miracle at the end, but he'll also be praying us in and praying us out today. So thank you, Oz, for being here. I appreciate you. All righty. So say hi, hello, good morning, however you'd like to greet us, do so. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see who's here. But right now, with this software, I don't have that capacity. So if you say hi, hello, good morning, or whatever, it lets me know who's here. The topic today is visioning. We're going to be visioning for 2022. And for those of you who don't know what that is, stick around and I will be explaining it. Oh, goodness. If you'd like to do a watch party, this is a great time to do that. You can click on the watch party button and be able to have your friends join you and see what kind of service they can expect if they come to see us. And also you can talk back and forth. If they've got questions, you can answer them because you're not disturbing anybody because you're at home, right? So I would like to invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering songs.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Presence of God right here, right now. always present, for God is all there is. Just as the planet supports life and the life supports each one of us, the larger picture of God encompasses all of this. And God sees us and knows us from within and without, has a big picture, knowing where our life is, where it's going, what it possibly could be. And we can rest in faith, knowing that this knowledge of God, the big picture for our lives, is the vision that we can create here and now in our lives. I know that these blessings can flow from this. And all of these blessings are flowing right now in us, as us, with the being of God. And I know this is a very good thing. And I give thanks that it is so, and I let it be. And so it is.
Excuse me. And so it is. Your words choked me up so much. Thank you, Oz. That was a beautiful prayer. Okay. Say hi, hello, good morning, however you'd like if you're here. In a facility, I'd be able to look out and see who's here, but I can't do that here. So we appreciate it if you will do that. Also, if you like something you hear, use that thumbs up button, whether that's song or prayer or something I say. If you love it, use the heart. We love to get love. And of course, if I hit you with something that's really powerful, please, by all means, use the wow button, because we like getting that feedback. It helps us know when we're on track. All right. So this next song is basically our philosophy. We are all one. When people ask me, what do you teach? The first thing that I always say is we are all one, that we are connected by it, through it, as it. That's how I say it. So anyway, just to let you know, this is Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver song that we do every single week. And I know you're going to love it. If you know the words, sing it loud and sing it proud. If you don't know the words, learn them. It's a great song to get stuck in your head.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I receive, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
We definitely are all one in it. Remember to say hi, hello, good morning, however you want to greet us. Use the like button, the love button, or the wow button for anything that you hear that strikes you as powerful. Without further ado, let me introduce Faith singing an agape choir song, Use Me.
Use me, oh God. I stand before you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to bathe God is the sun. God is the sun. But God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator all the time. He us to shine His light as me, as you so use me. Oh God, I stand before you and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. All that I do is command my hands. What must they do? Command my life. It's all for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator. Underneath all things are new. So God needs us to shine His light as me, as you so use me. Oh God, I stand before you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. God needs us to shine His light, and needs us to shine His light. God needs us to shine His light as me, as you so use me. Oh God, I stand before you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I love that song. I love the Agape Choir anyway. They're so awesome. So I want to talk a little bit about visioning before we get started. For those of you who may not have been here before, so you understand what we're talking about. Dr. Michael Beckwith, who you may or may not have heard of, with the Agape Center of International Truth, came up with this process and refined it. I guess I should say, visioning's been out there a long time, but he refined it down to kind of a science. And so we use it at Centers for Spiritual Living. Oops. We use it at Centers for Spiritual Living as one of the tools in our toolkit. And he starts out with the premise that most of us have been raised with the idea that everything is done to us. In other words, we don't have any power over anything. God does this to us. The devil does things to us. Life does things to us. People do things to us. And when you think about it in those terms, you really start to feel how powerless that feels. And so because we were raised with that, we have to move to the next level. There's no judgment about where you are. It's just where you are. But we move to the next level when we understand that there are spiritual laws in the universe that we can use. The first stage is like the victim stage. The second stage is more of a manipulation stage, not in a negative way. We've all learned to manipulate the spiritual laws to a certain extent. When you hear things like use the law of attraction, you know that what you're doing is learning how to manipulate the law of attraction, right? So this is the manipulation stage, because here we know that that we are able to affect the universe by manipulating those spiritual laws. And so we have to go through this stage. It's not a bad thing. We're not in judgment about being manipulative. We have to go through that stage. We really do. And we have to move from the victim stage to the manipulation stage, because we feel like we've got power finally for the first time in our lives. And, when I teach my students who come into religious science, first off, I teach them to treat for a parking space. And then people will say, gosh, that seems like it's not a good use of God's, power. And I always have to remind them that everything that we do takes practice. You wouldn't go into a gym, for example, and lift 150 pounds right off the bat, right? You have to practice. And so a parking space is a great way to practice for those bigger things that you might think are more worthy of God's attention, so to speak, right? And so I teach my students to pray for the perfect parking space. And I even use it to this day. I have no qualms about using it. I'll go into a parking lot and I'll go, okay, God, I just know there is the perfect parking space for me. Close to the door, however I want it to be. And then I realize, and I have really good parking karma because of it, because I just know that there's going to be a space that's just got my name on it, and I teach my students that, because you have to practice. And the more you practice on these little things, the things that may not seem worthy of God's attention, the more you understand what you're doing and how you're doing it and how to recreate it when it's something big, right? And I don't think it's an illegal use of God. I don't think that's a negative use of God. I think the more we practice, the more we recognize the power of God in everyday things, right? Parking spaces are just everyday things. And so recognizing the power of God is optimal. That's what you really want to do. So that's the first two stages. The third stage is through us. And that's where we recognize that God can't do anything for us that it can't do through us. And so we get to a point where we understand that love comes through us, that life comes through us, that God's wisdom comes through us. And when we get to that space where we're really acknowledging that we don't do anything to it and it doesn't do anything to us, it just works through us, then we've gotten to another level of spiritual power. And then the final one, which I don't know anybody here on this earth that's actually mastered this one 100%, is as us. God in us, as us, is us, right? So that's the stage where there's really no separation between me and God. We just live our lives as God. Not that God is, not that we're God, all of God. We are God in expression. Like everybody is God in expression. And so we live our lives as prosperity. We live our lives as health. We live our lives as love, because God as us is us. And if that makes any sense, I know some of you may be new to this, and we're not all of God. We are individual expressions of that one God that all of us express. I like to think of it as watermarks on a page. The watermark doesn't do anything to the fiber of the page, just like we don't do anything to the flow of God through us. We give form to it. And, we're a bunch of watermarks on a single page, and that single essence of God flows through all of the watermarks. And it's not that the watermark is everything on the page, right? But the watermarks are in the flow of that page, and we are in the flow of God all the time. And so when we reach the point, even if it's temporary, then we really have the power of God within us. And that's where we want to get to. So when we do visioning, what we're doing, and please understand that we don't believe in a God out there. We believe in God in here. And so when I say that God, what is God's vision for my life? I'm saying, what is that Godness in me that knows a bigger picture than my human doingness does, right? And so God in us sees this larger picture, and the human only sees this much. So I might have a picture of what I want my life to look like. And in fact, that's the difference between visualization and visioning. In visualization, I have a goal in mind. I know what I want it to look like, and I focus my attention on that vision until it manifests. That's visualization. Visioning is where I have an idea of where I want it to go, but I don't have, I don't look at something and say, that's where I want it to be. I want it to look just like that, feel it just like that. What we do is we say, I want that experience. So God, what is that higher vision? What will get me to that place? For instance, you can use visioning for whatever you want. You can use it for health. You can use it for love. You can use it for money. You can use it for abundance. You can use it for any one of those things. And so it's an idea that you have about what you'd like to see in your life. It's not a goal that you want to achieve. And what the difference is, you are now open to receiving that larger vision that the God within us has for our lives, in regards to health, in regards to love, in regards to wealth. Let's just say it that way. And so as we're asking those questions, we are asking God inside of us to reveal to us what that larger picture of our potential life is. And that's the difference. Now, another thing is how I want to clarify how you get your information, because everybody has a different gift order and we learn by different ways. You'll notice that you either get pictures or sounds, or you get a feeling, or you just know things. Okay. The 4 gifts are kinesthetic, which is you feel things. Audience, which is where you hear things. Intuitive is where you just have a knowingness and you just know it. You don't know how you know it. And then visual is, of course, images. And none of them are good or bad. They just are, when I walk into a room, for example, I'm very kinesthetic. I'm a feeler. So I get a feeling in the pit of my stomach about what's going on in the room. And I may not know always right away what it is. I have to take time to interpret it later. But it's the way that I receive that information to begin with. That is, my first is kinesthetic, my second is visual, my third is intuitive, and my fourth is audio. I just don't learn very well by sound. Now, Faith, on the other hand, when we went to Costa Rica, she learns best by listening. And actually, I'm going to let Faith talk about her process for visioning. How do you get your information in visioning, Faith?
Mine is more like intuitive gut feeling. For those of you that don't know, I'm a very auditory learner, so I like to hear audio, but when I'm visioning, it's more of a gut feeling.
Okay. And do you get any pictures or?
It kind of depends. The last round of visioning that we did, I had like this weird like energy thing that happened. It was really weird, and there was like light and everything. It was crazy. But I've gotten like glimpses of words, or like there's a certain tattoo that I want to get that I've seen like glimpses of that. I've never had like any.
Not like a big picture.
Yeah, no, not big picture.
Okay. Well, that's helpful. So when she learns, when she's in a learning situation, she likes to get it by audience. She doesn't do well if somebody tells her to read a book. But if she listens to that same book on tape, she learns better from it. But in visioning, she gets that gut feeling, which we call prophecy, actually. Yeah. Thank you, Faith.
Thank you.
And so the thing about that is honoring how you get your information. It doesn't really matter. Some people, like we used to do visioning for when we were looking for a new facility, and someone would say, oh, I heard this, music, and I heard what it was like to have a big crowd in the sanctuary, and I heard all this commotion when we had events and stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, bless you, I wish I could hear stuff like that, because that's not how I get my information. I get an intuitive and a feeling. And so I really was happy that some people got those big audio kind of things. And then other people would have these great images of what the church was going to look like and what it was going to look like, full of people. And they could just see all of this stuff, all the people gathered before waiting to get in the door. And they could see all the people coming out of the church, And I'd be like, oh, bless you. Somebody gets to see that stuff, because all I get is a feeling, really, and a knowingness. And I've always envied people who get those wonderful pictures or who hear the voice of God within them. I don't get it, but it's okay, as long as somebody does. And so however you're getting your information is important to you. You want to honor that and not judge it, not say, oh, I wish I was getting a picture. Oh, I wish I was getting a noise, or, or, well, all I got was a feeling, so that must not be accurate. Don't do that to yourself. Just accept the way that information comes to you, because how you receive the information is what is powerful for you. And the last thing I want to say is we're going to be asking 3 questions. And so I have to kind of explain what those 3 questions are about. The first one is, what is God's vision for my life? Now, this year we're doing 2022. So what is God's vision for my life in 2022? Now, you can apply that to health or love or whatever you want. So you would ask that question within as, what is God's vision for my love life in 2022? What is God's vision for my business in 2022? What is God's vision for my health in 2022? You can ask it that way, or you can just say, what is God's vision for my life in 2022, and see what happens. Then we're going to ask, what must I become? Because you cannot have that which you have not yet become. And so we are becoming the vessel through which God's vision manifests. So we need to become a spiritual principle that allows that vision to come through. So we're going to ask that question. And the why it's important is, it's just important for us to know what we need to do in our spiritual practice to bring forth that vision in manifestation. All right. And then we're going to ask, what must I release? Because if you want to be a spiritual principle, there's always going to be something that you're going to need to release to become that. For instance, if I've had a bad relationship in the past, I may need to release that relationship or forgive that person and release the resentment against them in order to have the perfect relationship, you see. And so in order for me to be love, I must let go of anything that is not love, which is anything hatred, anger, resentment, fear, any of those things. If you're using it for health, the same thing. In order to be health so that you can experience health, God's vision of health, then you must release your dis-ease or your belief in your disease, or the power that it has over you. So you're going to get those answers yourself. So we're going to do that here in just a minute. Just don't judge. Just allow the sounds, the sights, whatever it is that you get to come forth and be what it is. All right. Let me get to, I skipped ahead to my notes. I know there was one more thing I wanted to say. Give me a minute here. Oh, yes. So here's the thing. Please know that you can say no to this vision, but it's not like God, this outside God, is implanting a vision in you that is not something you would want. Okay, please understand that from the get-go. You are asking for that vision. And because you're asking for that vision, you need to be prepared to act on that. All right, act on what you get. You can say no, but it's better if you say yes, because there are always consequences for everything. Every decision you make, every thought you have, every action you take, there are consequences. And they don't need to be, disastrous or anything. They don't need to be a big deal. In my case, and I love this example because it's a perfect example of what we're talking about here, is I'm a bath person. I love taking baths. I'll take showers if I need to, but I really like taking baths. So I was in between churches, and a minister without a church is a really scary thing. So I had to have a project. So I redid my whole house, all the bathrooms, the kitchen, the doors, the windows, everything. And the guy got all finished with everything except my bathtub. And he said, I'm not going to be able to finish today. I'll come back on Monday. And I said, okay, I can do without a bath for 3 days, 2 days, whatever. And because let me explain my bath to you. My bath is where I do my meditation and prayer work. My bath is where I calm down when I'm upset. My bath is where I get myself nice and relax so I can go to bed at night. So it functions in a large part of my life. So he disappeared, and I began to do visioning, and I kept saying, "What must I do to call my spirit back?" That was my thing. God, what is the vision for my life to call my spirit back? And I kept getting, open another church, and I was like, "Hell no." And so the guy calls and he says, "Oh, looks like I'm not going to be able to come today. I'll be here next week." And I said, "Oh God, okay, a whole week without my bathtub. All right, I can do that." And I continued to vision, and I kept getting the same answer: open a church. And I was like, no, can't do it. And this went on for 4 months. I was without a bathtub for 4 months, believe it or not. And the moment that I said yes to the vision that I had asked for, he called 10 minutes later and said, "I'll be there tomorrow morning to put your bathtub in." The lesson I took from that is, yes, I can say no, but if I've asked for the vision, if I have asked God within me, what is the best thing for me to do or the best thing for me to be, then I have to be willing and ready to do that. So that's the caveat. I hope I haven't lost everybody on that one. Remember, it's not God out here giving you a vision for your life that is not something you want. It is God within that knows what is the perfect vision for you, the larger vision for you. All right. That being said, we're going to move into the visioning here. But first, I would like you to just take 1 minute, close your eyes, and just think about what you want to vision for in 2022. Do you want it to be health? Do you want it to be your perfect love life? Do you want it to be wealth? Or do you want to just generally open it up to God within you to say, what is God's vision for me in 2021? And I want you to just get quiet for a second and figure that out. It doesn't have to be elaborate, doesn't have to be the perfect thing. Just sit in the silence and think about it. What do I want to do visioning on? So if you don't have your eyes closed yet, please close them now if that feels comfortable. And let's just sort of move into a space of the awareness of God. Focus first your attention on your heartbeat. Let yourself hear it, feel it. And notice that all around you is nature, and nature is beating its heart with you. Notice that the rhythm of your heartbeat matches the rhythm of nature. And I'd like you to imagine there's this big bubble around you, an energetic bubble, just surrounding you. And just allow yourself to feel how that heartbeat is beating and vibrating with this light, the pulsing of this light. Allow yourself to just merge into that bubble until there is no you and anything else. There's only this bubble and you inside it. We're going to take a nice deep breath now and let go of all the cares of the day, all of anything that's going on in your life. Breathe in the light of that bubble, that ball. And as we do, I want you to imagine that this light ball has grown larger. It now encompasses your house and all the critters and all the people in it. And this pulsing of the light bubble pulses with your heartbeat and with the heartbeat of everyone in your house. It's all the same. At first, you may notice that there are other people in your house or other animals in your house, but now everything merges together as one. You are one with the animals. You are one with all the people. You are one with the house. There is no me and someone else. There is no me and my house. There's only that one light bubble, this big ball of light that expands with every breath we take. And reaching further and further until it encompasses the entire neighborhood where you live. All the houses, all the people, all the animals, all the trees, all the flowers, for all is one. And we recognize that same pulsating energy is still in sync with our heartbeat. And it's in sync with all the other beings that are joined together in this bubble. One heartbeat, one light, one ball. And it expands again to our city, including all of the places and all the people and all the animals and all the trees and all the vegetation. For we are all one, throbbing and pulsating together. One heartbeat feeding into the universe. We expand this circle one more time to encompass our state. And we start to recognize that there are no boundaries of cities any longer. There's only one heartbeat, and that beats throughout the entire state. And then we take another deep breath, and as we release it, it expands one more time to encompass the United States. We notice there are no boundaries now. There are no state lines. There's only one God, one being, this light, this ball that is pulsating. And everything is strumming to the earth's heartbeat. And we expand our awareness one more time. This light ball now encompasses the entire earth and all of its inhabitants. And as we recognize the heartbeat that it pulses with, we recognize there's only one power, one presence, one love, one heartbeat. And finally, we breathe in and breathe out, and we expand it one more time now to encompass the entire universe. All the moons, all the stars, all of the suns, all the planets, all of it is one. And from our vantage point, we recognize that there is this beautiful pulsating light being emanating from this universe into our hearts. We offer this light to all who need it right now. We offer it to them to take in whatever is necessary for the healing of this planet. It's a healing balm offered to any heart that needs it, any heart that is feeling the need for healing. Whether that be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. It doesn't matter. And we take some of that healing balm for ourselves. Just reach in and accept what is ours to take. As we do this, and as we and others pull from that healing balm, we recognize that it doesn't diminish it at all. It's replenished the moment we reach in and take something. And right now we travel down that beam back into our hearts, knowing that we can return to this universe of light anytime we want. And we move back into our own personal spiritual space as we open ourselves to the information we are about to receive in this place of love. Where we stand, only love exists. So I asked myself this very important question. What is God's vision for my life in 2022? Again, that could be prosperity, health, love, something specific. Or we can just open ourselves to the general information for our lives. What is God's vision for my life in 2022? Just allow whatever comes, whether that's a feeling, a knowingness, a beautiful vision, or a sound. It doesn't matter. Don't judge it, just let it be. What is God's vision for my life in 2022? Just be in that awareness for another few minutes, few seconds. And now, keeping that vision in mind, we take it and put it in our spiritual pocket to be retrieved at a later time. And we ask now, what must I become in order to be the vessel through which that vision manifests? For instance, if God's vision for me is love, I must become love, because I cannot have that which I have not yet become. So what spiritual principle must I become in order to be that vessel through which God's vision manifests? I ask myself that very important question. What must I become? What spiritual principle must I embody in order for that vision to work through me? What spiritual principle must I embody in order for that vision to work through me? Keeping in mind how important this information is, we take it and we put it in our spiritual pocket to be retrieved at a later time. And we ask ourselves this next question: what must I release in order to become that? Perhaps that's someone or something I need to let go of. Maybe become love, I need to forgive somebody, something. Maybe I need to release an idea that is other than the design blueprint of perfection that our bodies were designed for. Perhaps it is a belief in poverty, a belief in disease, a belief that I'm not worthy of love. What must I release? In order to become that vessel through which God's vision can manifest through me. And so put that one in your spiritual pocket as well. And just know that God is simply all there is, all there ever has been, all there ever will be, only God. God in me, as me, is me. And that vision that I have received is God's vision for my life. And so in the oneness that we all experience together, that Godness that flows through us, I claim for each one of you that vision that you have received. I call it good and very good. I'm excited about it, as I know this coming week will be, and this coming year in particular, but in this coming week specifically, there will be so many opportunities for that vision to unfold in our lives in a perfect way just for us. As I know that every name in the ministry of prayer has that same power of intention running through it. For any condition they are experiencing right now cannot match how powerful God is. I pull back that veil right here, right now. I claim it for them in their names as good and very good, and I give thanks for it. To know it's done, to be in service of this way, and so I just let it be. And so it is. Amen. Whew. All right. So, this is your opportunity, or our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express your gratitude for that which you have received and that which you have already created in the mind of God but may not have seen on this physical plane. Right now, Faith has put up the www.oasiscsl.org, and that is our website. We'd like you to go to that, and 2/3 down the page, I'd like you to say the offering affirmation with me in just a moment. Underneath that is a Contribute Now button. Let me talk to you a little bit about contributing, because this is the end of the year. So if you want to get your year-end giving in, please take care of that so that you can get it on your taxes. But know that what you're contributing to is this message getting out into the world. It's not about my paycheck. It's not about Faith's paycheck. It is absolutely about us getting God's message out into the world, and it does cost money. So please join me. Go to, whether you're looking at this at real time or later on, please go to www.oasiscsl.org and say this offering affirmation with me. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive. And so it is. Amen. And I am now going to turn this over to Faith. Be safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated. I love you. Thank you for being here, and we will see you in the new year.